Nice kitty, warm kitty, God made you. Happy kitty, fluffy kitty, purr, purr, purr. Yeah, you gotta watch out for their claws and their teeth. Gotta be careful. And, bow, wow, wow, bow, wow, wow. God made the dog that said, bow, wow, wow. This man's name, this is King Herod.
I know him.
Now, King Herod, he was a mean old king. And you know, he did not like Christians. In fact, James, the brother of Jesus, this man killed because he didn't like Christians. And he found out that the leaders of the Jews, they kind of liked that he didn't like them. So what he did was he took Peter, who was one of the apostles, and he threw him in jail. He threw him in jail. And he threw Peter in jail.
Why?
Because he was a Christian and he was one of the apostles. And he was spreading the word about Jesus and his resurrection. And the Jewish leaders didn't like that.
And God very liked him.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
But
I'm
he
a Christian.
Yeah.
I'm a Christian.
But, you know, he threw him in jail. But you know what? All the people, all the Christians in the city, they got together in a room and they prayed for Peter. They said, "Dear Lord, please protect Peter."
Yeah, because the people love him.
They love him, that's right. And they didn't want Peter to be hurt.
Or killed.
Or killed, that's exactly
Or
right.
died.
And you know what? That night, here Peter is in his cell and he's asleep. Now I want you to look. You see he's got chains on his legs
Why?
and he has chains on his, just so he doesn't escape from the cell. Even though the cell is locked, this mean old king, he wants to make sure Peter goes nowhere. So he puts chains on his feet. He chains his feet to one of the guards. He chains his other foot to the other guard. And then he chains his hands together. So he is sure that Peter's not going to go anywhere. Now, outside the cell, there were two more guards. There were two guards standing there. And in the middle of the night, look who shows up.
The angel.
An angel shows up. And that angel says to Peter, he says, "Get up, Peter. Get up, Peter." And Peter, he gets up. And the angel says, "Follow me." And Peter gets up and he's following the angels. But you know what happened to the chains? They just fell off him. They fell off him. They walked right by the guards. The guards didn't even see him. They thought they still had Peter chained. And the cell door just opens up. And the angel and Peter walk out. And how about the two guards outside? They didn't see anything either. They were just standing there. They thought everything was the same. And so the angel takes Peter out of the cell, out of the prison, and he gets out into the street, and then the angel disappears. And Peter, he takes off running, and he goes to that house where everybody was at that were praying. And you know what he does? He's knocking on the door. He's knocking on the door. And one of the little girls, probably about your age, they go and answer the door. And they look out there and they see Peter. And they're excited and they run back in and they tell the adults, they say, hey, Peter's at the door. And they say, oh, you're silly. Peter's not at the door. He's in jail. He can't be at the door. And the little girl says, no, Peter's at the door. And they said, oh, silly. Well, let him in. They didn't believe it. And so, you know what? Here comes Peter. Peter comes walking in, and everybody's surprised. But they shouldn't be surprised because they prayed. And God answers prayer. And so Peter, he walked right out of the prison, right out of the jail. And everybody was so happy. But you know what they told Peter to do? They said, Peter, you better get out of town because that old Herod, he's going to come looking for you. And so what Peter did was he left the town of Jerusalem. He went to some of the other towns where he could be with some other Christians. And he was safe there. And that's the story of Peter. Now, what does that tell us? It tells us that...
Can we do another story?
What?
Another story.
That God answers prayer. He answers prayer, doesn't he? And he protects them.
One.
Huh?
Let's do another one.
Well, thank you. But maybe some other time we can do another one. Okay? Okay. Aram, good. I'm glad to have you. You guys were really good. You were really good.